I truly don't think that she remembers a lot of the stuff that she says.
Well, Gina, I am, like we were just talking, I absolutely love this season. A lot of highs and lows, but overall, how are you feeling about this season so far?
I have mixed emotions, right? It's a mixed bag for me. In one aspect, I definitely feel the synergy of the cast, and that feels great. We all have history. We all know each other. I also feel like it's a very exciting season for me because there's been so many like positive personal changes for me, and it's really nice to get to showcase some of that, you know? But I will be honest, it hasn't all been easy for me because, you know, there is conflict in there and there's stuff that's happening and coming up that like I'm just truly not okay with. Well, I'm very angry at Shannon.
Yes, well, okay, Cass.
I'm very, and I'm very disappointed. I'm very upset by it. I don't understand it. I don't know why I'm the target of it, you know, and I don't even think she gets it. Like, so that's very disappointing to me.
Did she apologize to you after she saw the episode where she does talk about the CPS?
No, and honestly, that is something that to me, I was like shocked by that. I'm like, if nothing else, you send the text to save face. You know what I mean? Just check the box. At least that's clearly the right thing to do. I was honestly shocked because I didn't know, and I did forgive her when we were filming in the season, but also she didn't really take full responsibility, accountability. She didn't really even admit to actually saying the things she said. And then not only did she say them, but she was like giving a speech about it, you know, at a table with some people that I don't even really know. So bad, so inappropriate, so false, to not care enough to even throw me a text. Like, it's just really hurtful, but I think it says way more about Shannon than it does about me.
Right, so when reunion comes around, and if she does apologize, do you even would think that's even sincere?
I won't, no, because she has had so many opportunities. Plus, this is not the first time or the first year that I've asked her to please stop talking about this, and she has apologized and said she's not going to do that moving forward. And then she does it and then adds in new false tidbits for extra flair, I guess. And it only seems to be getting worse. I feel that at this point, like, what is that apology worth? It's like her stock has crashed, you know?
Do you feel like how she said, like, she doesn't remember what she talks about? Like, even like in her conversations when she talks about John to other people, she says like she doesn't remember what she says. Do you feel like that happened?
I think it is. I think it's very clear that, I mean, she really was, may God strike me dead. I did not say that. You don't say that unless you really truly believe that you have not said this, right?
Because you're on a TV show and it all exists.
Right, and we all know it's going to come out. So I honestly do believe that is what's happening there, but like that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
I don't care if Shannon wants to say she has a problem with alcohol or not. I'm not here to judge anybody or diagnose anybody, but that and her drinking is a problem for everybody else. Yeah. And you would think that somebody would want to look at least that part of it.
I think you said in the episode that she needs to go to rehab
for her own sake. I mean, now you're saying things out loud that are, first of all, it's slander. You know what I mean? And it's actionable. Yeah. So to not be able to control yourself, and we all know we're on camera, right? So it's like to not be able to control yourself to the point where you're saying things that actually could get you in trouble legally. Yeah. I would think that would be time where you're like, all right, I have to look at this and change the behavior.
Sure. Did you think about taking any legal action against her in this?
To be honest, it's like at this point the damage is already done, you know, and I'm really not interested in duking it out. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a litigious person by nature. And I just don't really see what the max gain would be, except that it would be bringing even more attention to something. I'm upset because she put me in a position where every couch I sit on now, I have to talk about this.
And I don't know if your kids
well, here's the thing. That is really what I see. Shannon has not damaged me. She has also damaged my children.
Sure.
My kids are this close to being of an age where they're on social media. This is clickbait for people. My children should not have to see that. If their friends see it and they come to me, what is this? That just and why? It just, to me, it really is cruel.
Yeah. Did you have to explain this to your kids yet? Because like you said, you know, they can go to school and things like that. I mean, it's got to be hard as a mom to deal with.
It is hard as a mom to deal with. I feel very fortunate that the community we live in, we have like amazing friends. I really know so many of the parents that go to school with my kids. I feel like we're so supported and everybody is so kind to me and my children, and we're kind of like in a bubble, which is a very nice place to be, especially in a situation like this. The bottom line is this year was a really positive year for me, and I should be only talking about those things, not having to now defend myself from lies about stuff that didn't even happen, you know? And it's just not, it's like a new low.
The two of you did kind of make some sort of truce at the end of last episode, but does this kind of bubble over and is always in the back of your mind for the rest of the season?
Yeah, because it keeps happening. And like you see, like I'm very careful with Shannon because I saw there was issues in the past and I know how she is. And so that's why I did truly feel it's in my best interest, even though I don't agree with you in a lot of the stuff you do or say, let's have a truce. I can do that. Like I'm a grown up. I came to every, you know, event and get together, and I just, you know, I'm cool with her and we're cordial, but anytime somebody wanted to talk about her relationship or anything else, that's not my lane. I don't know her enough to even, you know, be really speaking about that stuff. And I felt I did a really good job of actively staying out of her business for her to then make me the target of her deflection tactic.
Yeah, it's kind of like to move the attention onto you.
Right, yeah. And I mean, it's just, that's what it is. And so like at a certain point, like what would anybody else do? I mean, literally what I say in my interview is how I feel. I feel like it's like you are lighting me on fire so that people can watch me burn and you don't have to now talk about your real truth of what's happening in your life. Who does that?
Sure, yeah. Like you said, why burn somebody else? Right. When you saw her reactions to how people were talking about her, about John, did you find that to be like, you know, why would you get that upset that people are talking about your relationship when you kind of air your dirty laundry?
Well, I think number one, I truly, based off of what we were saying before, I truly don't think that she remembers a lot of the stuff that she says, but she knows that she talks to a lot of people. So I think she's naturally nervous about what was going on there. Obviously, her relationship was at an extremely fragile point. And I get all of that. But to be completely honest and fair, the one thing that I will also point out is when that happened, when she made that comment at that table about me, she started to go off on the tangent about how she's like the savior of my life or whatever. And John, actually, I heard him speak up and he said, you passed along a phone number. Like even John was tired of it, like, you know? He's like, even he's like, all right, enough already, right? And to me, that was very telling. I was like, oh, I really believe even John has this woman figured out.
Yeah. Do you think that she is better off without him or he is better off without her?
I definitely think they're probably better off without each other because it doesn't seem to have been working and it seems to have been a dysfunctional relationship and relationships that end for a reason. But you know, other than that, I really have nothing to weigh in on that. Yeah.
So I was going to say, you probably haven't noticed a difference in her since she stopped dating him because you probably haven't really even seen her.
No, I haven't seen her.
Are you anxious to confront her at the reunion?
I'm not anxious to confront her. I'm actually nervous. I have to control myself. I've never been this upset, like truly upset about this. Like, I don't even need to get emotional, but like, I honestly did not think that anyone would do this. Like, and to put me in this situation is really wrong. And I do not want to lower my standards of my own personal integrity, but I'm very upset. I'm very angry, and it's not a good place to go into a reunion.
No, definitely not. And you know, we watch this as, you know, entertainment and things like that.
Right.
This is your real life.
This is my real life.
This is your children, and you know, that's what they say. Put this in the vault. You never bring up anybody's children and when that's involved. It takes it to a whole nother level. So hopefully you get the closure that you need to move on from this.
I hope so. Yeah. That's it. I simply just am like wanting to move on from this. This is something that happened 4.5 years ago, and that's not even a part of what happened 4.5 years ago. So why are we here now? Why are we still talking about this? And I feel a little like fed to the wolves out there, you know?
Yeah. Did going through anything like that, in the back of your mind, you're like, do I want to do this anymore? Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I really did. This for me, this was something that I approached online that I never thought would be crossed, and I still am thinking about that. Yeah, because honestly, like at a certain point, like nothing will ever be worth anything that could potentially damage my children, and I will figure it out, if I have to, because I'm not going to put myself in a position where me or my children can be damaged anymore. And if this person can't control themselves, and if the other people that are around us can't control that either, then the only thing that I can do to control that situation is remove myself from it. And I am having a lot of like deep thoughts about that.
Right. You said you know certain things did trigger you this season, especially when it comes to cheating with Ryan and things like that.
Yeah.
And, do you look back on, I know that you had some issues with how Heather handled that situation.
Yeah.
Looking back at that now, do you still feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, I don't regret the way any of that went down. It was true, it was real, it was authentic. It was how I was in the moment, what I was feeling in the moment. I never faulted Heather for when she got in the car and she gave me the advice, like not to talk to Trav and stuff. At first, like I didn't fault her for that. I was like, you know what? She's the only one who came and got me. She's being a friend in the moment. That's from her heart. That's truly what she believes. And if you have a real friend, all they can do is really speak to what they truly believe is in your best interest. But now I evaluated that and decided that wasn't for me. I didn't like it when it shifted, and then we were talking about it now in a group setting at a table with the other cast members that I don't even trust with this stuff, So that's where it went off the rails with Heather. But what I give Heather credit for is Heather actually really does care. And if you communicate to Heather something that bothers you, she receives that, she hears that, and she will respect that and change her behavior. And that's where I know, like, I have a true friend. I do have a true friendship with Heather, even though obviously we come from different worlds.
Right, yeah.
We genuinely care about each other.
You and Tamara in a good place?
Yeah, me and Tamara, you know what? We're always kind of in a good place.
Sure.
We don't naturally irritate each other, which is like super helpful, I would say. Yes.
Well, Gina, it is always a pleasure catching up with you, and I'm glad that you are in such a good place.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
It's always great to see you.